Advent is a gift, an invitation. And what matters is that you have been invited. This is Saturday, week 2 of the season of Advent. Once again, we're going to take this day and sort of recap our thoughts over the last week and prepare for what's coming up. We started this with expectation and hope. This past week has been preparation and faith. Carol?
Well, two things have struck me this week, and both of them have to do with faith. And I think the first thing was just reading through, again, those stories of kind of the main characters as we start this story of the birth of Christ. We have Zechariah and Elizabeth and Mary and Joseph, who were all affected by visitations from angels. And each of them had to step out in faith to say, I believe that this is an angel from God. I believe what they're saying, and then act on what was said to them. And then as I thought about these, and what do I do to step out in faith? Last night at our service, our Thursday night service, we asked that. We asked, how, as you prepare for Advent, is there a way that you've stepped out in faith? And my answer was, I think growing up and knowing the Christmas story, hearing it every year and knowing it, just being in Sunday school, being in church, I think we just come to just say, oh yes, these things happen, these, all these parts of the story of the birth of Christ. Oh yes, angels came, they talked to these people, there was a host of heavenly angels when Jesus was born. There, all these different things that we just kind of say, oh yes, those happened. But really, when you look at the story, you are taking a lot of that story on faith. Faith that yes, there were angels that came. There was an old woman that was able to become pregnant and have John the Baptist. There was a virgin the baby was conceived by the Holy Spirit. And those are things that, they just aren't normal things that happen in life. Those are things that we have to take on faith and say, yes, I do believe that. I do believe that that is part of the story of Jesus' birth. And, all those little things that kind of fell into place, all those things that we believe that were prophesied in the Old Testament that have to do with the coming of the Messiah, and saying, yes, those scriptures are talking about Jesus and his birth. And so that's what really kind of struck me, is that just realizing that even if you don't realize it, you are taking a lot of that story on faith that it's true. And so that's the part, I think, those two things that really stuck with me this week. Paul?
I think I felt like I focused more on being aware of the preparation. Our living room is almost finished now. There may be some additions to it before things are done, but I've watched the preparation for the final look in the living room. We've got some things behind us, some changes that we've done in terms of preparing the look around here. That is a type and a shadow of us preparing our hearts a little bit at a time, moment by moment, day by day, and I'm relishing that experience this year. Again, referring to our our wonderful time that we get to have in our Thursday night creative communion time with people, and we have some contact with other teachers, with teachers. I'm not an other teacher now.
Well, you're another teacher, it's
I'm
just a
another
different
teacher.
other
It's
teacher.
a different other teacher. But it takes me back when we sit and we talk with some of those that are in education, when Zoe calls us and she talks about how her days are going, and it takes me back to that incredibly busy time of my life for 30 years, when this time between the 1st of December and December 25th was just chock full of things that made it difficult for me to prepare in a different way for this time and for this time of Advent. And so again, I am relishing the time that we have had to reflect on those 400 years of silence and that expectation and that hope that something would happen to change things, on hearing from God, hearing from the angels, and having that expectation, that preparation that something is going to happen, and yet needing to take that on faith. And we're moving into next week. Our themes are anticipation and joy, and I'm looking forward to that. It's been a precious time for us over the first couple weeks, and I think that will continue. And so we invite you back next week. We're glad that you have been able to join us. Continue to join us when you get the opportunity, and let's see what Advent has to bring. God bless. Have a great day.